Welcome or welcome back, friends. I'm Corinne, and this is my channel where we like to talk about all things cozy and creative living. Today, we're going to talk about whimsy. That's right, we are going to talk about whimsy because I feel like it's having a moment. And also, when things like this have a moment, there's lots of opportunity for it to feel like you have to do it a certain way. If you don't whimsy a certain way, if you don't have X, Y, or Z, you're not doing it right and you can't be a part of something. And maybe this comes from me spending far too much time on Instagram this week, going down rabbit holes just to come out feeling a little bit less than, a little bit like the comparison bug has me down, and feeling like I can't participate in whimsy the way that I want to because I don't have X, Y, or Z. And that's all a load of crap. It's all a load of crap, and it has to do with consumerism, and it has to, like, all of the things. And so what I want to talk about today, and I have notes, but I don't know that I'll use them because I tried and it doesn't feel right. So we're going off script a little bit. What I did do this week was take some footage. I took some clips of moments where I caught myself feeling whimsical. Kind of like right now, I'm using a teaspoon, literally a spoon that I use to take my tea bag out for a mic, just because it makes me feel silly, it makes me feel joyful. And why not? We all need a little bit more of it. It is a gray day here in Maine. It's rainy, it's gross. It's been rainy and gross. And so, yeah, I'm just thinking like we need a little bit of cheer. We need a little bit of joy and delight. And that's what whimsy is. So I'm going to intersperse the footage. I'm going to talk a little bit about what whimsy means to me, how it's for everyone, and how you cannot get it wrong, okay? So here's the deal. Whimsy is about noticing. It's about delight. It's a feeling. It's connecting with joy. It's connecting with play. It's creative, but more so I think it has to do with imagination. And all of these words are linked, like creativity and imagination and play, all of those, they're all in the same realm. But whimsy, I think, is an inner thing. And sometimes, yes, it's helpful to have objects, clothing, decorations, whatever, to help invoke or evoke feeling whimsical. That's why I keep thinking about how whimsy is an inside job with some outer help. Kind of like a fake it till you make it with... That's why I like to put little whimsical things around my house. And that's not for everybody. Maybe you find absolute delight and joy in clean lines and no clutter, and that's okay. What I'm trying to say in this video and always is that you can do things your own way. Whimsy is for everyone, and more people need it because it's connecting with that inner child. It's connecting with delight and wonder. It's making meaning out of the mundane. It's those moments. It's noticing moments, noticing feelings, and just spending a little bit of time with them. It's every time my husband reads my mind or seems to read my mind, and I look at him and then I point to, like, between us, and like, oh, we're so connected. And he rolls his eyes and he laughs. That to me feels like bringing whimsy into the room. It's pointing things out, maybe not to anyone else, but to ourselves. And to just know that there is more than just a banal existence. We deserve it. You deserve it. It's in picking out a skirt that feels twirly and noticing, taking a minute to twirl in that skirt. It's seeing the first blossoms, noticing the first blossoms on the strawberry plants, seeing dandelions and marveling at them and the work that they do for our environment. It's seeing how the wind plays in prayer flags. It's adding sprinkles to cake, always, just because. It's having cake, just because. It's allowing ourselves to delight. It's allowing ourselves not to feel tortured all the time by an existence, by systems that want to keep us small, keep us quiet, keep us working, keep us in ordinary, because then maybe we won't notice that there's something more out there for us. Whimsy is all about creating different pathways in our mind with novelty and leaning into the fanciful. It's in taking the long way home, taking the scenic route, taking a different route, just doing something different just because, and noticing what's right in front of us. It's lingering over details, marveling over flowers, noticing maybe where fairies could play if they were to dance in the tulips. It's in sitting at the edge of the bed, still in pajamas, looking out the window, starting your day, noticing the trees outside, listening to birdsong, and then going about your day, carrying that feeling with you. It's looking up from your desk at just the right moment to catch a cardinal in the forsythia and watching it until it flies away. Whimsy is in the details of your home and life. For us, it was letting our daughter paint birch trees on the walls and around our bookshelves, and letting her run wild by painting little frogs and mushrooms and a raven in there too. It doesn't have to cost a lot, Whimsy. It doesn't. It doesn't have to cost anything if you don't want it to. But it's also about making conscious choices with our purchases. Like, I bought little tea bag holders that are leaf shaped, and they have been the most joyful thing ever to me. I use them all the time, and the amount of whimsy I feel when I use it skyrockets. And it just helps me through some really hard times. It's so silly to say that it feels silly to say that these little things make such a big difference. You know, like I have little magnetic hinge toppers that I put throughout the house. And sometimes I don't notice them because they're small and you go about your day. Sometimes the other people in the house don't notice them, but they're there. And the times that we do, it makes us all smile. Or when a guest comes over and they see them and they're like, oh, that took me by surprise. That brings a moment of delight. And it's like, yes, this is the human existence. We are creative. We have imaginations for a reason. Let's use them. Let's use them to bring some playfulness and some respite and joy to our daily lives. And I'm not saying not to participate in any fad or in any trend that has to do with whimsy. Not at all. What I'm saying is that it's more than a trend. It's more than a fad. It's more than a marketing gimmick. Whimsy belongs to all of us. And just because, your whimsy doesn't look like what you're seeing on Instagram or here on YouTube or anywhere else, it doesn't mean that your whimsy is less meaningful than somebody else's. I'm going to reiterate that it doesn't need to look a certain way. To be whimsical does not mean you have to stay within certain confines, go out of your comfort zone completely. It doesn't mean anything more than what you want it to mean. Things can be subtle. I find so much joy in subtle whimsy for me because I generally tend to be a quiet and reserved person. My relationship with whimsy tends to be more quiet and personal, and that's okay. That's all right. If that's what it is for you too, that's okay. And also, if you want to be the most head to toe whimsical person you know, if you want to wear the most fancy, the most delightful, the most colorful, the most glorious things, please do so. And that is amazing. That is amazing. And that helps to bring out whimsy in other people too. I'm starting to ramble a little. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Mostly, whimsy is for everyone. It doesn't need to cost much, and you cannot get it wrong. You can't. And so all of this kind of brings me back to the Whimsy Journal, which I will forever be grateful to that small little video because it brought so many of you here. The Whimsy Journal to me is a way to connect with whimsy in a subtle, gentle way, or it just gives me a nice, gentle way to connect with that side of me, especially when regular life seems to be shouting from all directions. It's almost like I can jump into it, meet myself where I am, spend a couple minutes reconnecting, refocusing with that part of myself, and then going about my day feeling a little bit lighter, a little bit more joyful. And so it might be a whimsy journal, it might be a favorite mug, it might be decorations, it might be the clothes you wear, it might be just the lens that you see the world through, whatever it is. Whimsy plays such an important part of our lives, and I don't think enough people recognize that. I think especially now when we're seeing so much about whimsy, or I'm seeing so much about whimsy in my Instagram and here on YouTube, but it's in a very overt way. I just wanted to take a moment to remind all of us that you cannot get whimsy wrong. You do not have to do it a certain way. It can be subtle, it can be gentle, it can be whatever you need it to be, but I would encourage you to make it a small part of your day and see where that leads. See where it takes you. See what doors open up, because maybe for just a few seconds in the day, you're looking, yes, at what's right in front of you, but also the possibilities. You're looking at the playfulness. You're looking at what, like I said earlier, you're looking at what's in front of you, but you're also seeing the unseen. And that's where, we can start to play around with the idea that there is magic in the everyday. There is magic that connects all of us together. There is magic that, that connects our imagination to the regular world. There's just so much out there that is unknown and beautiful and wonderful, and yeah, that's where whimsy lies. So I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what your relationship with whimsy is, what you think about it, if it's a subtle thing in your life, if it's a thing or not in your life, if it's something that you want to cultivate a little bit more. So on that note, friends, it's been lovely to spend time with you today, and thank you for being here. Stay cozy, be well, and I will see you very soon.